Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Book of Brianna, a podcast. I am your host, Dr. Brianna Whiteside, and I want to ask you, how is your heart? How is your heart? That's a question that I've been asking myself a lot lately, like over the last few months, really, since, I want to say maybe since July, I've been asking myself, how's your heart? And that question, that internal question has sometimes I'm fine, and sometimes it just brings up, tears. It brings up like, no, you're not okay. Today was hard for you. This season was hard for you. Things like that. And I thought maybe I should ask you, how is your heart? How are you handling this season? How are you feeling about what life has thrown at you? How are you feeling about following God? How are you feeling about your accomplishments? How are you feeling about your life? Like, how are you? How are you faring? And I want you to take a second to check in with yourself. Because if y'all saw my podcast last week, I was real honest. I was real serious, and I was real vulnerable. And I thought it necessary to be vulnerable in that way because I don't want to prop myself up as, a superhuman, a superpower person, a robot. No, I have real hurts, real fears, real desires, real challenges. I am one from among you. And so last week, I thought it was important for me to show what I was walking through in real time because it's important. I share with you all share with me, and I wanted to be honest and vulnerable. And so that's what I did. I let you in on where I was struggling. If you looked in my eyes last week, you knew this girl is struggling and she out here. But this week, I want to talk about something else. Still in the same vein. This week, I wanted to tell y'all that I was literally set up. I was set up by God. I was set up by God. Let me tell y'all what happened. So after I released the podcast on, Sunday, and, I'm still journeying through emotions. That this season isn't over. I'm still journeying through emotions. I'm still trying to keep showing up, trying to not feel defeated, just keep going, right? Even when I feel let down, even when I feel disappointed, I still try to keep going. And so the other day, I was like, maybe let me go get a massage. Now, I generally get a massage once a month, but I had an extra credit on one of my accounts. And so I was like, let me go just use this credit and get a massage. So the massage, I like deep tissue. I don't know about y'all, but I literally want them to get all the knots out of my back. That means they're gonna have to put some elbow grease in there. But I chose this particular massage therapist because they did deep pressure. And so as you would have it, I get to the facility and he comes out. So he's like, hey, this is your first time. What are we working on? I'm like, upper back, neck, shoulders, pecs. Like, I carry all my stress in my back. He's like, all right, cool. And so, generally my massage therapists, they do like to talk. I rarely have a quiet session. I don't know why they talk, but they do. So I was used to it. So when he asked me what I did for a living, and I told him, I just kind of thought they was just gonna be small talk. Y'all, it turned into something else, let me tell you. So he asked me what I did. I told him. He's like, oh, wow. How long have you been doing that? Did you always want to do that? Normal question. And he's like, well, let me ask you this. Who in your family is a pastor? And I was like, huh? And he was like, who in your family is a pastor? And I'm like, no one. No one in my family is a pastor. Why did you ask me that? And he said, because I hear it in your voice. And I said, what? Now, mind you, he is up here mashing on me, right? So I'm not talking loudly. I'm not energized. I'm kind of just trying to deal with the force of the pressure, right? And he's like, no, I hear it in your voice. I hear the Holy Spirit. And so I'm like, oh Lord, I got a believer. This is a believer. You can hear God in people when they speak. And so from there, we started talking about my journey. He started talking about his journey a little bit. And he was like, he took a deep breath. He was like, okay, I'm going to ask you this only because I kind of sense Holy Spirit leading me to ask you this. When was the last time you fasted? And I was like, actually last week. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in a fasting season, blah, 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 whatever. But yeah, last week. And he was like, okay. And he was like, you know, I feel that God wants you to fast a week. And he told me the particular fast, and I was like, come on now. Come on now. He'd already snatched my food, right? Because I'm pescatarian. Then, not only am I pescatarian, I was eating shrimp and salmon, and he snatched the salmon. I ain't say nothing. I said, okay, cool, salmon now. I'm gonna have to learn how to cook some like red snapper, other types of seafood. Okay, cool. But now you want me to do this fast, and I'm like, what else you want from me? You know what I mean? And so I'm like, all right, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. And so he keeps talking. He keeps going. And then he pauses again, and he starts to prophesy. He starts to prophesy. And I knew he was, I ain't tell this man none of this. Y'all know how prophecy works. But when he started off talking about you perceive correctly your current season, I knew he was hearing from God. I knew it. And it's so fascinating, like the word of knowledge that he shared with me, because y'all seen me. I'm just gonna be honest and tell on myself. Y'all seen me on the podcast last week, but I also had private conversations with people, and I was like, I'm about to head out. I'm about to head out, y'all. I'm about to head out. This is me and my humanity. Like, And I told my homie of my plan. He ain't say nothing on the phone. But when I called to tell him my interaction with the guy at the massage place, he was like, girl, I'm so glad God showed up, because when you told me your plan to head out, I said, oh, I need to turn up. I need to turn up in prayer. He like, hello, my friend's in trouble. Jesus, please come through for her fast, because you ain't never had a plan, right? And he's like, I knew you weren't just issuing out idle words. You were serious. And I'm like, yeah, I'm over the edge at this point, right? There's a place, you know how you can push people to a certain point, to the breaking point. I'm at the breaking point. I am at the breaking point in my life. And when God sent this guy to prophesy to me, it was kind of like that moment where God walked up on Hagar, you know, Sarah's servant. And Sarah, if you don't know the biblical story, you know that Abraham slept with Hagar, got her pregnant. That's how we got Ishmael. And then Sarah got mad, even though she gave permission for it, and said, basically, you got to put her out. But she was treating Hagar very, very harshly. And so Hagar was like, I'm out. I'm going to leave. And then God walks up on Hagar like, Hagar, where you going? And she's like, I'm gone. I'm going back. And he's like, no, return back. Where you going? Turn around. I think that was that moment for me. And I have never been at that moment with God like, no, I'm out. I done done this. I done done this with you. I done tried with you. I done all the things that you've asked me to do, the best of my ability. And I ain't seeing nothing shake. Nothing. I'm out. And I said this in my heart, right? I am preparing to leave in my heart. Because there is a place that you can get to. There is a place where you can get to when you just shut all the way down. Y'all saw me shutting down last week. You did. You did. And God saw it, right? God saw it. Like, oh yeah, no, she's in this dangerous place. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. And you know, I can't wait to tell y'all the full testimony of everything, but this season has not been an easy season for me. In addition to that, I think that me preparing for the Let There Be Challenge, y'all be on the lookout for the Let There Be Challenge. It is this month. It is this month that you will see. Keep your eyes peeled. We're going to start on November 22nd, but all the promos will be rolling out before then. So you're going to want to pay attention, because you're going to have to do specific things. But gearing up for this challenge, I'm getting a lot of warfare, a lot of blowback. And it's a lot. It's a lot. And so I was at that place of like, I can't take no more. I can't take no more. I done tried. I done my best, but I can't take no more of this. And God set me up. I thought I was just going for a massage, but I had a meeting with him. I had a meeting with him when he's like, no, I see you. I see you. I hear what you say. I hear what you don't say. I see the disappointment on your face. I see all of that. And I'm sending someone to you to encourage you. You don't know them, and I'm sending someone to you to help you keep going, to give you some information that you may not have considered, right? And he did. The massage therapist did. I'm sending basically your paramedic. And you know what I've learned is that God knows how to locate you. God knows how to locate you, right? He'll get to you. He'll get to you. When he knows that you're struggling, when he knows that you are at your wit's end, that's when he'll show up with someone with an encouraging word. Someone will, give you that holy handshake, like they say, with the money in it. Yeah, he'll send that help, that olive branch, that, hey, I heard you. I'm concerned about you. You're on my mind. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's what he did for me yesterday. And I truly believe that there's nothing like the prophetic word to snatch you out of certain cycles. And I'm not saying it just has to be somebody prophesying to you. It could be a prophetic word that leaps out the Bible at you. You're like, yo, that's for me. It'll snatch you out of cycles. It'll encourage your heart. It'll encourage your emotion. And that's what happened. And, I'm grateful that it did happen because it also gave me the courage to keep going. The courage to keep going. As I said last week, I was losing my courage. I was losing my faith. I'm about to tear up and I don't need to do that right now. I was losing my faith, y'all. And as of someone who has done so much by faith, someone who has weathered the storm, someone who's done so much, for me to lose my faith, that's crazy. I never thought I'd be at that point, at that breaking point, that point where there was literally nothing else I could do but just say, okay, let's try to just get through the hour. I have been at that point a long time ago. It's been so many years. It was at the beginning of my walk with God. I was, of course, a relationship caught me up. I was getting out of a relationship with my then college sweetheart. We had been on and off for like 6 years, I think. And we just shouldn't have been together. That's all it was. It was immature. We both were immature. And I was living in St. Louis at the time. Living in St. Louis, I had just moved there from Mississippi. Thank God I got out. No shade to Mississippians, but it wasn't for the kid. I just got out of Mississippi and I had moved there. We had ended things. And so that's when I first went natural. Cut all my hair off, y'all. Ooh. I was just in a very weird place. I was getting out of undergrad and I'm in grad school now. I'm in a new city again, uprooting my life again. It ain't easy anytime. And then I had just left the love of my life, the person who I hope to spend the rest of my life with. And I am up there. We break up. I don't know who I am. This also started my identity journey. I don't know who I am. Who am I outside of this relationship? Because I tried to morph into everything he wanted me to be because I wanted him to choose me. He liked this, I was trying to be her. He liked that, I was trying to be her. Like I was trying to be who he wanted. And I was never who he wanted. I was who he was with, but I was never who he wanted. And as a result of me morphing and molding and shifting and doing all the things to try to get him to choose me and stay with me, when we ended that relationship, it was over. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know anything, y'all. I was lost. I remember her. I was so lost. Let me show y'all. Y'all want to see when I first cut my hair? Baby was looking hurt. I had just cut my hair off. It was the first time I felt wind on my scalp. I was traumatized by that wind because, y'all, anyway. So I'm going through this identity crisis. I'm going through this identity crisis because I don't know who I am. I'm grieving because I did just leave somewhere I lived for 4 years, even though I hated it. It was home. I'm also grieving because the man who I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with doesn't want me. Like, I'm grieving. I'm in a new place. I'm in grad school. I don't know anybody for real. It was a hard place. And I remember, I would have to listen to TD Jakes all day. Just have to keep playing just to get through the day. I remember that season. I remember like, okay, you can't think about just getting through the day. You got to think about getting through the next 30 minutes. You got to think about getting through the next hour. Like it was literally minute by minute, and I was struggling. And I was in a dark place, and it took me a long time to get out of that place. It took me a long time to crawl out of that space. So I remember being in a similar place, but it wasn't that place with God that I was in just, last week. It was in that place of me just trying to do life on my own and screwing up and realizing I really don't know what to do. And like, okay, well, since I don't know what else to do, I'm just going to turn to God and see if this will work, and then just keep walking that walk. And I've been walking that walk ever since, just seeing if it's going to work, hoping it's going to work. That was the last time that I was in such a depressive state, like low. Now I've had moments and seasons of grief, of depression, of anxiety, but rock bottom back in 2013. And then close to rock bottom, like at my wit's end, this season. And I think that when I talk about it, it's not that, it's not that life is horrible, because it's not. It's that following God is hard. It's taxing. It hurts. You hope that, it'll pay off really quickly, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it pays off in 10 years. Sometimes it pays off in 6 months, That's why it's hard. And for me to and I struggled with it, because I'm like, how am I struggling in my faith? And I get up every week and I teach on the kingdom and I podcast and I encourage. How am I struggling? This seems like a contradiction. I found myself in a contradiction more times than not this season. And it's very difficult to hold that type of tension. It's hard. But a lot of things, if we're honest and we look back over our lives, a lot of us are in contradictory moments. Yeah, I love God, but yeah, I believe that God can do this, but will he do it for me? Yeah, I love this situation, but I think this is running out, right? We spend a lot of time in contradictory moments, and it's not easy. It's not fun. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. And I think that what I'm learning is that God also cares about you in the hard place. He cares about you in the hard season. And it's kind of weird to say that for me right now, because I'm like, how you care? How you care? You see me here. Matter of fact, I obeyed you into this season. You put me here. It wasn't me. You did this. This don't make no sense. But the truth is that once you're over your emotions, deep down, he does care for you. He does love you. He is invested in you. It doesn't take away from what you feel, because what you feel is valid. What you feel is human. That is the fleshly part of you. And I'm not saying that in the negative. I'm saying that this is your human experience. Feel that. And also understand that God will pull you up. He'll send something or someone to encourage you. He'll send someone to revive you. It may be a song. It may be a child singing and coming to love on you and to encourage you. It may be a stranger, like the stranger walked up on me in the massage therapist place, to say, hey, God's thinking about you. He is. He's thinking about you, and he's concerned about you. And he wants you to know that he will come see about you. I don't think I'm anyone special. I don't think that I am exempt from anything. Not at all. If he came to see about me, how much more would he come see about you? He'll meet you at your darkest place. And I had to be open to hearing what this stranger has to say as he rubbing on my bare back. Talking about the Lord. I had to be open to receiving it. I had to be willing to go get the massage, because I was supposed to go get the massage like the day before, but there wasn't any openings. And so I was like, okay. And then when I was doing my work, I was like, well, maybe I need to go get a massage again. Let me check and see if I can get one. And then I had to be open to driving, right? You have to be open to being obedient to the promptings in this season, because they may be where your provision is, where your resource is, where your need is met. Get to the place. I don't know what that place is for you. I don't. I just know that he came to see about me because I was in a dangerous place. And I'm not even fully out of, not that I can tell, that place, but he saw where I was and he said, let's go see about her. Let's let her know that we see her, we heard her, heaven and hell heard her. Heaven heard what she didn't say. Let's let her know we heard her. Let's send someone to reinforce what I am doing, to reinforce what I've been whispering to her, but because the chaos is so loud, maybe she can't hear. Let's send someone audibly that she can hear to reinforce what I've been trying to tell her. Let's get her to the place. Let's get her to the place. She must get to the place. And it's time sensitive that she does. That's what I want to tell y'all. I want to tell y'all that God came to see about me. He came to see about me in my vulnerability, in my brokenness, in my hurt, in my pain, in my confusion, in my tiredness, and all. He came to see about me. And he'll come see about you too. My prayer for you is that you will allow him to speak to you in different ways. Because he could have just came supposed to be in my dream. Probably wouldn't have landed well. But be open to the ways that he does speak to you, to the ways that he does try to get your attention. Be open to that. Be open to the instruction, especially this month. Be open. I encourage you to keep moving forward. As I move forward and am honest with you, as I continue to just, okay, your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. And y'all know lamps aren't bright lights. They're dim. They're dim. Your word is a lamp unto my feet. Okay. Okay, we got through today. Okay. Okay, we got through. Okay. You know? What if you can't even think about making it through the week? And it's okay. If you're in that place, let me just be clear, because I do have systems in place when I'm struggling. Like, it's not just God. I do go to therapy. If you need to go see a therapist, please go get you a therapist to help work out some of these issues. I know some people have been saying, oh, I only need Jesus. No. Because if you didn't need a therapist, he probably wouldn't have put him on earth. You need Jesus and therapy. And that may mean that, like me, in this season, this testing season, you're going to have to beef up your therapy. That's what it may mean. And there's nothing wrong with that. So you need to do what you need to do to get to the finish line. I don't know what that is for you. I know what that looks like for me, and I've done it and I'm doing it. But what does that look like for you? Does it mean getting off social media? Does it mean spending more time with God? Does it mean spending more time with your family? There are a lot of ways to help you through this season, and I want you to utilize all of the ways that are present to you. All of the open doors, all of the opportunities, take them. All of the avenues, walk them, because you're important. You're important to this world. You're important to me. You're important to your family. You're important to you. Above all, you're important to you. You're important to God. I don't want to see you stop, which is why I came to you vulnerable and why I'm coming to do follow-ups. I know how it may look. Some people's like, Bree, you probably shouldn't do that. No, I am going to do that. I am going to do that because I'm also a woman. I'm also, going through things too. And I don't care about my image. Nah, I care about people. I care about people being transformed. And if my story can help you be seen, to help you heal, to help you move forward, then okay. I'm going to put myself out there because that's servanthood. But anyway, y'all, I hope this has encouraged you. I hope this has encouraged you, that story, knowing that God will come see about you, especially when he knows you're in danger. He'll come see about you. I want to leave you with that. If you haven't liked the video, please like the podcast video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it with a friend who may need to know that God will come see about them. And I'll see you in another installment of the Book of Brianna. Oh, don't forget, we're doing the Let There Be Challenge. There will be promos rolling out. Keep your eyes open for those promos. And if you're not subscribed to my mailing list, you need to subscribe. Just head on over to BriannaWhiteside.com. Hop on the mailing list. You'll also get some of the information there. But I'll see you soon, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.